Hello there. And now I thought, after doing the Elm Street films, why not do the TV series? Now this is one you never see on DVD or Blu-ray. And you don't know how I feel, that's something coming up. You want to know how I feel? Pissed off, because this wasn't a bad series. Now, in the 80s, they made all the type of cheap shows and all the shows before. You know, you had Tales from the Crypt in 89, you had Tales from the Dark Side, it was like a lot of fodder fair, but you never had this. Now, I have known in the past they made other movies from series. You know, you had Friday the 13th, the TV series, but no, you did not have Jason Voorhees presenting it. You know, you never had Halloween with Michael Mathers presenting it. This was the first ever time they ever had a TV series with Robert Englund as Freddy presenting a TV series. But basically, I'll give you the background story before I tell you the first two good stories. At the time, you know, Robert Englund was making it big with Freddy Krueger. You had Freddy Krueger magazines, you had the Freddy Truff, which is over there, got my ass getting it, and you had the sequels of the Nightmare on Elm Street films. You had it all. So at the time, you know, New Line Cinema and all these other companies decided, you know what, why not make a TV series? A bit like the Twilight Zone, a bit like a horror show, where Robert Englund as Freddy Krueger presents the show, and every week you get a different horror story. This is why I get pissed off, people. This is why I get fucking peed. Because at the end of the day, right, I'm going to be open, I'm going to be honest. Companies what make Blu-rays, companies what make DVDs, waste fucking money on shitty fucking remakes. Like the shitty fucking remake of Nightmare on Bum Street. I'm not going to call it Elm Street. It's Nightmare on fucking Rape Street. It's Nightmare on fucking Arse Street. There's only ever been one Freddy Krueger. Robert Englund is the man. So in 88, you know, we had the business of doing a making of a Nightmare, which back in its day it was in making, so bits of all the other Elm Street films, and it was a making when they was doing the fourth Elm Street film. And then they had the business of Elm Street 4, the Dream Master. Same there, decided to do Freddy's Nightmares, but ran into 89 to 89 into 88. I meant to say it was shot into 1988, and it ran right through into second series into 89. And it's sad to say in 1990 it got cancelled. It was the same, you know, it was the same because I like Robert Englund, and this is it. I remember me showing this before when I was ranting on the horrible remake, Freddy's Nightmares. That's right, Freddy's Nightmares, with the man himself, Robert fucking Englund. There's only ever been one Freddy, and there he is with a big smile. So the first story, what can I do? I'm going to do a lot of these of Freddy's Nightmares. No, what pisses me off, like I say, you can only get this on a video rip. You can only get it on a video rip. Don't get it on DVD and Blu-ray in the United Kingdom, rest of fucking Britain. But this I do like. The first story to me is, you know what I mean, this is how you do Freddy the right way. Now, you do remember me ranting a little bit on the third Elm Street and a bit on the fifth one. I like the third one, but I didn't really keen on seeing Freddy's fucking mum, the nun. Same as I wasn't keen on seeing the lung, Freddy's mother's nun. The mum, I meant to say, the fucking nun. I went into the backdown story, I went into the last one where he was getting abused by his fucking stepdad, he killed fucking animals, he got picked on, climbing a fucking river because he doesn't even find it interesting. This, on the other hand, how Freddy got to be Freddy, which is the first story by the way, it's interested me, it engaged me, because I thought it was more frightening, it was more scary. It's like I say, could be near your area, could be near your house. And it's frightening to know in real life there are real Freddys out there. There are people who molest kids, and there are people who kill kids. It's not being horrible, I'm not being sick, I'm not being fucked up in the head. I'm being realistic. There are people like the real Freddy Kruegers out there. So you think about it, Robert Englund took a gamble playing a role like this. He took a gamble, but it paid off in the way he did it. So the first story, let's get to it. Freddy Krueger's in court, and you know the backdown story, if you ever saw the original Nightmare on Elm Street. He's in court for the times of him killing all the kids, And if you know the original Elm Street film, and the mummy mentioned to Nancy how he got away, he got off with it because he didn't have enough evidence. And well, they did have the evidence, but they fixed some of the evidence to get him caught because they knew he did it and they knew he'd get away with it. And he did get away with it because they found out, because he planked the piece and planked evidence, you know, to get Freddy. He gets off with it. And he's sort of arrogant, but I do actually like the fact that he don't show his face in it. I thought, well, we already know it's Robert fucking England. You know, he did Fee. You know, when you think about it, he had the necessity in the TV, so Fee. So we don't know it was Robert England. But I do actually notice in this one how Freddy got to be Freddy. You don't see his face. All the way through that, when he's in court, his face is sort of like darkened out. There's bits in it where he's hitting the chains, but you do see a sort of arrogance about him. There's a very nervy scene in it where you see Freddy Krueger's eyes and he's looking in a courtroom and all you can see is dead bodies and heads flying everywhere. Now I'm making it sound more gruesome than what it is, because Freddy's Nightmares, really, it's not really that fucking gruesome, it's not really that bloody because it was made for TV, but it do have some moments in it where, you know, you get that impact even though it was made for TV. Even though you can see it has that rating there, 18. It was too, you know, it's too made for TV, so you're not going to have Freddy effing and jeffing and swearing like a fucking sailor. But you do see bits where you do see in his eyes, and there's this cop, and he's got two girls, bonny looking girls, and they're both twins, which do kind of make a foil onto that in the next episodes of Freddy's Nightmares, when they do another story with the twins. They're not in the back, because they've got Freddy there, but I have got one where you do see the twins, good looking girls. And the guy's a cop, and he basically knows that Freddy's going to get him. And there's a bit in it where he tries to attract the girls, who are the twins, and they go after Freddy. And this is the bit I do admit is a better story than the how it was in the shitty remake. You see, this fucking truck did it better. This did it better than A Race of Fucking Money by Michael Badass horrible fucking remake. This did it fucking better. It did it better. It did it fucking better. Because what do? They get Freddy Krueger, right, and he's arrogant and he's cocky and he's laughing. Come here, burn me, burn me. And they do. All the people and the cops put oil on Freddy. And they burn the fucker. They burn him. And you do have to see a real stunt man on fire. And for the budget of this, I'm thinking, bloody hell, this is better than the fucking remake. This, a TV budget. Michael Badass, I hope you're watching my review, the dickhead who killed Freddy with an horrible remake. This was done in 88. A fucking stunt man. A TV budget, and that they use a real fucking stunt man with a burn suit running about, saying the fucking Robert England dubbing over his fucking voice for a few seconds. No fucking shitty CGI with Freddy going and his head on fucking fire looking like a prick. This was done practically, fucking practically. So again, so in the film, like I say, you've got Freddy running around like a fucking, he's on fire, but he's cocky and arrogant. And he's dead, as I told, he's dead. But there's bits in there where the cop is having nightmares of Freddy attacking him, and he sees things on the way, and he accidentally taps his tooth in an accident when he's driving a car. So obviously he goes to the dentist, you know. But this is a part of this episode, and I'm not shitting you, what will make you scared. It will make you fucking scared, shitless, going to a dentist. It will make you scared. Because he goes to the dentist and he sees his dad who's, you know, helping him out, and you know, they put gas on him. I don't know, they knock people out, but they put gas on him. Good looking woman actually, and he sort of sees her naked, but not fully naked. It's not like the Dream Warriors where you see tits in it, because again it's TV viewing, but you've got the idea he sees her with, oh, there's a bit of a sexy nightie on, and he's going to feet, but you hear that, you know, the famous words, 6, 5, Freddy's coming for you. And that's when you see him. You see the man himself, Freddy fucking Krueger. You got the idea that he's got stabbed, so the poor guy can't move, he's in dreamland because he's knocked out. And he gets these electric fucking gills. You don't see it, again, TV throwing, you're not going to show that much for TV. And you got the idea he's ripping all his fucking teeth out. Again, you don't see it, you just see teeth flying out everywhere. And Freddy says, let me know when it doesn't hurt. And you know, you now see Freddy as that, and the poor guy's dead, and he's dead. And it kind of foils it on in the second story, where you do get more of the story about the Quins. I will tell you about the second one, because what Freddy's Nightmare did, the TV series, you had 2 stories in one. No, I had 2 stories in one, but I might do that another time and talk about the second one, which definitely is a fucked up story. But, you know, every one of these had 2 stories. Sometimes you had Robert England starred as Freddy in a few stories, or sometimes you have him presenting a story, where basically he tells you another story. But this one, at the end, if you've got a failing dentist, you definitely don't want to watch this, because it'll probably put you off going to the fucking dentist. But that's Freddy's Nightmares, the TV series. Might talk about more on the way. And if you like what you see, press that button, subscribe to me, and I'll see you soon to talk about some more stuff on the way. Until then, see you soon.